Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to be joined today by Commander Roberto Nueves and officers of the 24th District, along with members from the Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent of North America, or APPNA for short. I know Phil Klein, the Executive Director of the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation, would have loved to be here himself today to thank you all personally for your steadfast support and generosity. And unfortunately, he's taking part in Operation Santa today, so he couldn't be here. But in his absence, and on behalf of the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation, I humbly accept the generous donation of $5,000 for purchase and supply of additional bulletproof vests in the memory of Officer Samuel Jimenez, as well as the physicians and medical professionals impacted by the tragic and senseless loss of life at Mercy Hospital. For those who may not know, today marks the second consecutive year where the APPNA has donated $5,000 towards purchase of bulletproof vests for officers of the Chicago Police Department. I've said it many times before, there are very few professions as demanding or as dangerous than that of a police officer, whether it be here in Chicago or anywhere across the country. We ask the men and women of our department to put on their uniforms each day. They leave their homes every morning, afternoon, and evening, fully aware of the very real possibility of not being able to return home to their loved ones at the end of their shift. And yet they still march forward in the face of danger to protect and serve the citizens of this great city. And much like our police officers, the doctors, physicians, and other medical professionals, like the ones standing alongside me here today, are also in the business of protecting and saving lives. Unfortunately, both of our communities have recently suffered tragic losses due to gun violence. As you all know, the active shooter incident last month at Mercy Hospital took the lives of 3 innocent victims, including Chicago police officer Samuel Jimenez, Dr. Tamara O'Neill, and Dana Les, a pharmacist. Less than 24 hours later, another one of our brave officers was shot while apprehending an armed offender. But thankfully, in that incident, his bulletproof vest absorbed the damage caused by that round. Because of that bulletproof vest, that officer was able to return home to his loved ones that evening. That bulletproof vest saved his life and ultimately prevented another loss of life of one of our own in a second straight day. It would be extremely difficult for our officers to do their jobs and serve their community without the city's support, whether it's from the Rogers Park community in Commander Nueves' 24th District, to the Gold Coast, and to Inglewood. So once again, thank you to the members of the APPNA for your unwavering support and generosity. And with that, I'd like to now welcome to the podium Salman Akhtar.
Thank you so much, Superintendent, and thank you all for coming here today. I appreciate Superintendent Eddie Johnson for taking time from his busy schedule to be here, especially Saturday afternoon. I also like to thank First Muslim Chaplain Hasni Sulenika, 24th District Commander Davis, 24th District Sergeant Syed Qadri, and 24th District Officer Zuhair Khan, Masood Khan, and Officer Mitchell and Officer Yunan. Thank you all for helping us coordinating this event and making our community safer. These are difficult times for the community, and without the dedication of the police to protect and serve us, it would be more difficult. While I accept there is always room for improvement, this should not overshadow the work and dedication of our police. As you know, that recently the police and the medical community suffered a tremendous loss in Mercy Hospital. Officer Samuel Jimenez, Dr. Tamara O'Neill, and pharmacist Dana Les all lost their lives. Dr. O'Neill and Diana Les dedicated their lives helping Chicagoans in their hour of need, and Officer Jimenez lost his life trying to protect them. Doctors are often at the forefront in the battle against violence, side by side with the police, and that's why we are here today. CPD deserve our gratitude for the work they do. Thank you very much. And I would like to introduce to you the President of Apna Alliance, Association of Pakistani Physicians of North America, Dr. Rahat Sheikh.
Thank you, Salman. Superintendent Chicago Police, Eddie Johnson, members of our elite force of Chicago, my dear fellow physicians, and members of Pakistani Descent Physician Society of Illinois, good afternoon. I would like to thank you all for joining us and taking time, especially Superintendent Eddie Johnson, for meeting us in this holiday season on a Saturday afternoon. Thank you very much. Let me start and give you a brief introduction. My name is Rahat Sheikh, and by profession I am a family physician. I did my training from Chicago, not too far from here. I did 1 year at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's Medical Center and followed by a family practice residency in Cook County Hospital that is now known as John H. Stroger Junior Hospital of Cook County. I am privileged to be the president of Pakistani Descent Physician Society of Illinois this year. We are affectionately known as PPS. PPS is a 501c3 organization which is over 350 members strong and represent almost 700 physicians in the state of Illinois. Our society provides a platform for the physicians of Pakistani descent for educational, social, and professional issues. The main aim of the association is to foster scientific development and education in the field of medicine and delivery of better healthcare without regard to race, caste, creed, gender, or age. It provides continuing medical education, help in the disaster relief, scholarships, and food pantry. Excuse me. Our society runs a free clinic that also provides free healthcare, health screenings, and sets up medical camps. We also provide housing and education to young physicians from Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, every big city has its own issues and problems, but we are lucky that we have such an organized, capable, dedicated, and courageous group of police force in the city that help us enjoy this beautiful city in peace. I am not able to mention every single name or every single act of heroism, but you touch our lives every single day. Just last month, a young Chicago police officer, Samuel Jimenez, gave an ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. We salute you, Officer Jimenez, and salute the entire Chicago Police Department. We always wanted to work in partnership with the police force and hope this assembly will help us in making a bridge between the two organizations. In the end, I would like to thank you all for your presence, especially my friend Salman Aftab, my chair, Community Outreach Program, Dr. Sajid Mahmood, and Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Thank you very much. On behalf of my society, today I would like to present a check to Chicago Police Department for the project Get Behind the Vest, a donation of $5,000. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to invite the former president of Pakistani Physician Society, PPS, Dr. Sajid Mahmood.
Thank you, Mr. Salman Aftab, President Dr. Rahat Sheikh, and Superintendent Johnson. Thank you very much. You have been kind, even last year, to allow us to serve, the brave and hardworking policemen of Chicago. I feel pride to be a member and past president of Pakistani Descent Physician Society. and glad to have my seniors in the crowd, Dr. Tariq Bhatt, Dr. Nahid Qayyum, whom I learned a lot in the previous years. And as a community outreach committee chair this year, we take pride to serve people as we donated today for the brave policemen of Chicago, as well as we also, get a chance to help veterans who have served for this country. And also we donated amount for cornea transplant project back home in Pakistan, and also we set aside some amount to help hardworking and brilliant students in terms of scholarship. So we will plan and pledge to continue these activities in the future. And again, thank you all for your presence.
Dr. Lai.
Thank you all so much. And I thank you all so much again. I tell you that the job of police officers is a difficult one, but if nobody understands it more, I think physicians do, because oftentimes they're there with us on the front line. So thank you all. And we'll take a few questions if you have any.
Superintendent, how many vests will the donation allow you to buy?
The vests are roughly, about $500 a piece. So what is that, 100? Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about, in light of just what occurred, the shooting, talk a little bit about how you've assisted, how the police department has assisted Mercy Hospital in increasing security, in making whatever necessary changes to prevent something like this from happening again?
Yeah, well, Mercy have been doing a great job independently, but we have been over there talking to them about what could best practices to make that hospital more secure. Again, I would tell you this, Evelyn, the day that event occurred, after looking through much of the video evidence, the security personnel and the hospital personnel actually did a great job of helping us to identify where the shooter was and take the appropriate actions. But we've been having conversations with them since that time to ensure we can put the mechanisms in place to help prevent things of this nature from occurring in the future.
Because it really is about creating a different environment where there can be healing, where people actually feel comfortable and folks over there can get back to the business of helping their
It
patients.
is, and what we need to do is not let people like that take our independence away from us. And so the quicker we get back to our normal everyday activities, the better it will be, because this is all about being safe, whether it's at the hospital, at a school. We live in a world right now that's violent. It is, and we have to accept that, but we also have to put the things in place so that we can stop more or minimize the damage when it occurs.
Superintendent, what is the situation with vests right now? When an officer comes on the force, there's a stipend, and then they have to buy the second one themselves?
Yeah, so what happens is, so when you go into the police academy as a recruit, the city gives you your first issue vest. After that, now the expiration dates, and this is with you complying with all the orders that the vest company gives us in terms of how to properly store them. So the expiration date is like 5 years. So after 5 years, so you look at me, I have 30 years on the job. So you count it up in terms of how many vests I should have gone through. But what happens is police officers are people too. So they have obligations like mortgage payments, tuition, things of that nature. So we often will put a new vest aside until we take care of all the other things that life throws at you. So I'll probably say the average officer probably will keep that vest about 7 to 8 years before they actually get a new one. So what they're doing for us is huge, because that ensures that those vests will operate the way that they're supposed to. As you look at the officer that was shot right after Officer Jimenez was killed, his vest saved his life. It did, you know, and you can't put a price on that. But unfortunately, the cost of the vests are high, and a lot of police officers, they add other components to their vest to make them even more safer. So it's a huge thing when foundations, and I can't tell you enough how I thank the association for their generous donation, because it does help relieve the stress of trying to buy vests and ensure that all police officers have one that's up to date. Yes, ma'am.
Being a physician, we always believe in prevention rather than cure.
Okay.
Now, in terms of prevention, gun control is a big issue. I mean, that's why the police is exposed to all the violence, which is totally unnecessary, not only because of too many guns on the street, but also because of the kind of people who get their hands on them. So in terms of that, I realize you're all, employees, and you may not be able to express political views, but is there a position that the Chicago Police Department can or does take in terms of the gun control issue?
Yeah, absolutely. Our number one obligation and responsibility is to keep the people of this city safe. So with gun legislation, that's why I worked so hard in 2017 to get the repeat gun offender bill passed, which did ultimately pass. But, we have a responsibility. I think our legislators have a responsibility to pass common sense gun laws. We should not have a situation like in Chicago where people can go across the border to Indiana and Wisconsin, fill up a duffel bag full of guns and bring them back to our city and use them on the street. So we just have to have common sense about it. I'm not saying take everybody's guns away. I'm not saying that. But we have a responsibility to use common sense and to keep people that should not have weapons. We have a responsibility to ensure that they don't. Universal background checks would help tremendously. If we tried to get the governor to pass a bill last year that would give the state and local jurisdictions the ability to go in and audit gun shops. We know they're making straw purchases in those gun shops. We just don't have the ability to do anything about it. The ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, they do what they can, but let's face it. I think right now we have about 75,000 gun shops in this country. And how many ATF agents to audit them? About 5,000. So it's clear that gun shop owners are not afraid of being audited because their chances are probably, maybe every 7 or 8 years? So I think that we should have state and local jurisdictions able to audit gun dealers. One more. This little guy right here.
So is the police department stopping illegal drugs and stopping gun violence?
Yeah, there's still a lot more work to do, but I'll give you an example. This year, the Chicago Police Department, these guys in these blue shirts and white shirts, they're on pace to have taken off the streets of Chicago 10,000 illegal weapons this year. That's huge, and that's twice as many as New York and LA combined, but it's not that we're better than them, it's just that that's how many guns we have out here on the street. And then we work with DEA all the time in terms of trying to stop the flow of illegal narcotics into the city. Thank you all.
Can we have each of the men who spoke say and spell their first and last name and give us their titles?
Sure.
So we all get that on tape. Thank you.
My first name is Rahat, R. Roger, A. Apple, H. Henry, A. Apple, T. Tuesday. Last name Sheikh, S-H-E-I-K-H. I am the president of Pakistani Descent Physicians Society of Illinois. You can call us PPS. Thank you.
And I am Dr. Sajid Mahmood, first name S-A-J-I-D, last name M-E-H-M-O-O-D. I am the chair of the Community Outreach Committee of the same organization this year. Thank you.
I'm Solomon Aftab, S is Sam, A is in Apple, L is Linda, M is Michael, A is Apple, N is Nancy. Last name is Aftab, A as in Apple, F as in Frank, T as in Tom, A as in Apple, B as in boy, and I'm the coordinator. Thank you.
Is that it? Thank you all.
मेरा नाम राहत शेख है एंड आई एम द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तानी डिसेंट फिजिशियन सोसाइटी ऑफ इलिनॉय फॉर 2018। मैं बहुत अरसे से हमारी पूरी टीम ये कोशिश कर रही थी कि पाकिस्तानी डिसेंट फिजिशियन सोसाइटी को हम मेन स्ट्रीम यूएसए के अंदर लेकर आएँ। इस साल अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हम इसमें काफ़ी कामयाब हुए और आज हम लोगों ने ये इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया था जिसमें हमने शिकागो पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट को लाइफ सेविंग वेस्ट की डोनेशन दी थी। तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमने आज $5,000 की डोनेशन दी है जो ऑलमोस्ट 10 या 10 से थोड़ी ज़्यादा लाइफ सेविंग वेस्ट इनको इस्तेमाल करने के लिए मुहैया करेंगे। बहुत क्रिटिकल एलिमेंट है ये लाइफ सेविंग वेस्ट, इंसानों की जान बचाता है और पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट में ये सिर्फ इनको पहली दफ़ा गवर्नमेंट की तरफ या स्टेट की तरफ से दी जाती है। उसके बाद इन लोगों को अपनी वेस्ट खुद खरीदनी होती है। ये 5 साल इसकी एक्सपायरेशन होती है लेकिन ये लोग कुछ 7 साल इस्तेमाल करते हैं, कुछ 10 साल इस्तेमाल करते हैं। अभी सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस हमें बता रहे थे कि उनको जो पहली वेस्ट मिली थी उन्होंने 10 साल इस्तेमाल की। तो एक तो ये काम अच्छा है, कम्युनिटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, कम्युनिटी आउटरीच है और दूसरा इसमें पीपीएस मेन स्ट्रीम पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी मेन स्ट्रीम यूएसए में आती है। इंशाल्लाह ये सिलसिला जारी रहेगा। आने वाले प्रेसिडेंट्स का भी यही ख्याल है, आने वाली टीम का भी यही ख्याल है और इंशाल्लाह ये सिलसिला चलाते रहेंगे। शुक्रिया।
बहुत ही पुरवकार तकरीब हुई जिसमें गेट बिहाइंड द बेस्ट जो कि ज़िंदगियां बचाने वाली जैकेट है शिकागो पुलिस ऑफिसर्स के लिए और आज पाकिस्तानी फिजिशियन सोसाइटी जो इलिनॉय का चैप्टर है उसके सदर राहत शेख साहब और डॉक्टर साजिद ने इस चीज़ का एहतमाम किया, साजिद महमूद ने, कि वो $5,000 का जो है चेक सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस एडी जॉनसन को दें और इस पुरवकार तकरीब में तमाम मेन मीडिया अमेरिका का आया और तमाम लोग जो शिकागो के मेन चैनल्स हैं वो आए। उसके अलावा जो हमारी लोकल प्रेस है वो सब आई। आप तशरीफ़ लाए तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। इसकी बहुत ज़रूरत है कि हमारी कम्युनिटी इन चीज़ों में कंट्रीब्यूट करे और हमें चाहिए कि हम पुलिस के साथ मिलकर जो शिकागो के सिटीजन्स हैं उनको जितना भी प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं उसमें मदद दें और जो मेन अहम चीज़ है वो ये है कि इस शहर को हम तमाम शहरों से ज़्यादा मजबूत और सेफ बनाने में सबसे ज़्यादा हिस्सा लें। तो पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी, पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन फिजिशियंस और तमाम लोगों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जिन्होंने इस तकरीब को कामयाब बनाया और आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सैयद खलीलुल्लाह साहब।
थैंक यू जो फॉर हमें ये मौका फराहम करने के लिए कि हम आपसे मुखातिब हैं और जैसे डॉक्टर राहत शेख प्रेसिडेंट ने मेंशन किया कि हमारा इन प्रोजेक्ट्स में कंट्रीब्यूट करने का बुनियादी मकसद ये कि हम उस कंट्री को जिसने हमें काम किए अपने प्रोफेशन को प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए और हमें अपने लाइफ स्टाइल को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, तो हम इसको भी कुछ जो है वो इट्स टाइम फॉर अस टू गिव बैक टू आवर कम्युनिटी और फॉर दैट रीजन वी आर हियर टू प्रोवाइड वी हैव स्टार्टेड दिस नाइस सीक्वेंस ऑफ गिविंग बैक टू कम्युनिटी लास्ट ईयर और करम से और दोस्तों की मदद से हम इसको दोबारा करने में कामयाब हुए हैं और इंशाअल्लाह आने वाले सालों में भी हम इसको और आगे ले जाएंगे ताकि हम जो है और यहाँ की कम्युनिटी जो कि वी कैन हेल्प देम इन द बेस्ट पॉसिबल। शुक्रिया।